Good afternoon, everyone. Today is indeed a special day. It is special because we are all alive and we are joined by our trailblazers. Okay, the nursing group of 1974. We are happy to have you, and I'm not sure if the dates are correct because I look at you and you look so young. Everybody looks so bright, so young. You understand? And I think that's a blessing from the work that you did. God has blessed you with a wonderful life. So today we are here to receive a donation from the group. And before we go any further, we would like Ms. Julia Charles to lead us in prayer because we cannot do anything without God, right? Amen.
Eternal and gracious Father, we thank you for this gathering today. We thank you for bringing us together today where we can come together for one purpose only. Lord, we pray that you may just have your way in our midst today. We thank you for the retired nurses who are there to bless us for their endeavors. Father, Lord, we pray that you may continue to favor them with long life and satisfaction. We pray that that communion will continue, that fellowship will continue, Father, Lord, and that others may come to support us through this journey, Lord, as we work together for one common purpose. So, Father, we pray that you may just have your way. Continue to guide and protect us as we look after patients, as we crucify ourselves so that you may increase in us, so that we may do our work to our best of our ability. Father, we pray that you may just have your way, take full control. In Jesus' mighty name we pray.
Amen. Before we sit, I would like us to sing a hymn. We are together again. Right, I think we all know that, right?
We are
Together again, let's praise the Lord. We are together again, in one accord. Something good is about to happen. Something great is in store. We are together again, just praising the Lord. We are together again, just praising the Lord. We are together again, in one accord. Something good is about to happen. Something great is in store. We are together again, just praising the Lord. Amen. At this moment, we'll call on the leader of the group, Mrs. Parilo, to give a brief remarks. Mr. Hippolyte to give some brief remarks.
Well, good afternoon, matron, acting matron, and my fellow colleagues, past and present. And well, I'm very happy to be here on behalf of our group of 1974. We say group because we started in 1974, but we graduated in 1978. But in those days, even if you were going to nursing school, you were still working on the ward. So we consider ourselves 50 years since we are in the nursing program. So today we are happy to be back. It's not the same environment, but it's a very nice place compared to what we were in before. But today we are happy that we are back. To see some of our successors, to have a tour of the new environment, and to have a little experience of what is going on at Dominica China Friendship Hospital. So we are very pleased that we could come as a group. Some of our members are living overseas, and we are happy that they could join us in that wonderful reunion celebration today. So our mission here is ready to acquaint ourselves with some of our successors and also to give a donation. We are, although we are retired, but we are always nurses, and we think of our class, of our patients, we think of our country, and we think it was fitting for us to give a donation to the hospital, which we know it will be of good help to the institution. So thank you for having us here today, and we are looking forward to better things in the future. With God's grace and with God's help. Once we are alive, we promise that we will continue to be friends of Dominica China Friendship Hospital and friends of the nursing profession. So thank you for having us.
Thank you. Let's equal it. Okay, so we have an inventory manager with us. Thomas will come. Okay. So it's a very small gesture, and we are really hoping that it can be of good use to the facility. So it's being donated on behalf of our 1974 group. Yes, so it's been donated on behalf of our group through the help of Dr. Charis James. She was born at this hospital. She did part of her training at this hospital. So she was very happy when she saw us, trying to get this to the hospital. She said, no, she would give it. So those are, we have a couple hundred urinals, like 300. We have some nebulizer machines, like 8 of them here. And those are the accessories for those machines. So we really hope that they can be of good use, and a few sharp containers. All of these here are the extra pieces, that in the mouthpieces, the masks, and stuff like that for the breathing treatments. So we are very happy to be here to make this donation today. Okay. Yes. At this moment, it gives me great pleasure to express our gratitude to you. So, our inventory clerk, our manager, this is Emmanuel, department members, this is Matthew, we have our ward sisters and our staff members, but most importantly, the nursing group of 1974, also the media. Good afternoon. Words alone can't explain the feelings inside as we receive this timely and well-needed donation from you. You see, you already made your contribution to society in a huge way by caring for the sick and preventing illnesses. At this moment, you could be on a cruise somewhere in the ocean, sipping some champagne. You could have been in Dubai at this time.
Oh, yes.
However, as you celebrate your 50th anniversary, you chose to return to your humble beginnings, the Dominica China Friendship Hospital, better known to you as the Princess Margaret Hospital. On behalf of the hospital management, staff, and most significantly, the patients, I wish to extend a huge thank you to the nursing group of 1974 for your generous donation to this institution. We assure you that it will be put into good use and effective into good and effective use. May the good Lord continue to bless each and every one of you here today, and most probably those who could not make it, who wish they could be there but could not make it. May you be blessed with more life, more strength, and more love. We wish you a happy 50th anniversary. God bless. Once again, thank you. Thank you. We want to invite them, all of them, to Saturday night. Let's invite them to the event on Saturday night. There's some new nurses who do not know you. Okay, so can you just introduce yourselves? I was thinking of that. Yes, because there's some nurses. Okay. I am Joanna Barnes. I was a nurse captain one sister of casualty in my last life. And I enjoyed every moment. And we still stay close to each other. And I give thanks and praise to the Lord to keep me up to this age. I can move forward. Amen. I am the sunset. Emory was my home. I left Emory after 19 years. Wow. I read that I was infection control. Left Emory to infection control, but I was still in Emory. I was there every day. I left years ago. I left in 1992. But I was back from every year. But no one got me to forgo. Just came back. Like this. Okay, my name is Agatha Shrinkler, better known as the School Shrinkler. That's my family. We always go in this hostel as a family, alright? So we are tight and close, okay? I was in hospital like all of us here, and I was transferred to the district, as in the district, and Salisbury. So I left the hospital in 1995, and since then I've been in the district at Salisbury. And after I left, I think I went for 1 year with some of the students from the Dominica State College with a little bit of supervision on the district. So I enjoyed nursing, and I always continue enjoying nursing, right? So please follow our footsteps, okay? Okay. Eugenia Matilda Ruiz. After graduation, I worked 1 year on the reward, and then I went to do operating room training, and until my retirement at 55 years. Wow. So I spent my whole life in operating room, which I enjoyed, and I know a few. The other faces are not familiar. And then I migrated after I retired at 55, I moved to the States. Maria Rock. I was a district nurse midwife in the Portsmouth district. Then I went to the nurse practitioners program, so I was a nurse practitioner in the La Plaine district. And then I migrated in 1988, but I've been coming back and forth. Not very familiar to this hospital, but I keep in touch with my colleagues, as you can see. So this is why I'm part of this program here today. And I'm really happy. And one thing I need to let you all know that we've always been proud of our training. We worked hard as nurses, really hard. We were under the apprenticeship system. But we worked hard and we enjoyed our training. We enjoyed our patients. Patient care was our priority. Yeah. And up to this time, when we sit and talk and laugh with each other, we talk about our training and the good times we chose. And patient care was always our priority. And we tried our best in spite of our shortness, our facilities, whatever shortages we had quite a bit of. We had to improvise. Patients would really satisfy with the care that we gave. Because up to today, you'll say, nurse, we're missing on you, or you have to come back when you're retired, but we still keep in touch. So just to let you all know, the younger ones, that it's a good profession. Yeah. When you put yourself in somebody else's place, you're taking care of someone, and you make yourself know that that person could be me
me or my mother or my father, any family member, do your best at it, and you will reap rejoicing. All right? Thank you very much.
I was here to introduce myself, but something else is here. I'm always going to the eye clinic. But after I graduated, I started the midwifery program in 1984, and I stayed on to Strada Ward until 2017, because after I retired in 2011, I had 4 years contract, and so I left in June of 2017, and I'm always
My official legal name is Bernadette Rosecrest hyphen. But when I came to the scene with my group, with our group, I was Rosecrest. However, my first rotation was an Imri ward. So Sister Wilkinson was the sister of Imri ward. So Catherine and I, our first rotation was Imri, so she called us Little Les and Little C. Right? So that's the name we were carrying until we graduated, and Little C and Little Les relinquished. However, in reward, in 1990, Sister Ophelia Linton had called to ask me if I would like to go to Gordon to do hemodialysis. So I said, they never asked me to do anything yet, so why don't you tell me? She gave me some proverbs that I cannot use there. And so I went to her office, and then I went to Gordon. So I was the first RN trained to do hemodialysis in Princess Margaret Hospital, and the St. Louis was the assistant, was the first NA trained in Gordon for she left earlier than I. So I remember doing the oncology clinic in the afternoon with Dr. Calendar, and the morning clinic would be the hemodialysis clinic. That time we were in private work. But the joke about it is, before I came back to work in dialysis unit, there was no phone, there were no snacks, and things like that. Now St. Rose had asked and asked and asked, and she did not receive. But when I returned, she said, Pras, I was so longing for you to come. And I wanted you to come because I know when you come, things will be different. So then I said, it's all right. We had to go to Alford to answer the phone. So one day they called, Prosper, telephone for Alford. I went. Second time they called, I said, no, Prosper, you're not leaving your patient on the machine and go to Alford. This is not a very good respect. So that stopped there, and they had to give us a food. And they had to give us snacks, because where I was training, they gave these patients snacks. So that happened well for us. One thing I want to say that sometimes we didn't remember, in dialysis, you had to take cultures once a week to send to the lab to make sure everything was going all right. And I hope we are still doing it for our kids. Okay, here comes Imri Ward. My colleagues, Anthem and Joseph and I, we worked on Imri at the same time. That is a nice story, a very educational story, and a very healthy story. So if Anthem is in charge that day, we do our best to make Anthem shine. And I want you all to hear that and learn it. If T is in charge, we do our best to make T shine. If I'm in charge, everybody rally around so that we can shine and do the best we can. And we always try to do the best for patients. At that time, we did not have ward aides. That is a category of workers we asked for in, I think, 1990. But before, everything that the ward aides do now were done by the student nurses and the nurse assistants. And so you are very fortunate. So I'm saying that to say you are fortunate to have been ward aides that could help the patient cut their toenails, trim their fingernails, comb their hair, rub their back, turn them, use a clock. We used to use a clock system to turn them so they would not have aspiration, chest infections, and bed sores. We bathe them in the morning, we bathe them in the afternoon to rub them with soap, and then we clean them and dry them and rub them with cream, with any lotion, anything to keep them happy, and that they love even more than the injections. Okay. For Emory Ward, I did not apply to go to Emory Ward to work. I was in dialysis and oncology and very happy, very popular, very happy. But the matron called and she asked if I wanted to do. I said no. She called again. I said no. Sister Linton met me and I told her, matron said for me to go to Emory, but all the nurses she had, they're not going to Emory. How come this me she wants to send to act on Emory? So she used some proverbs again, and she told me, in the proverbs added to it, I must go to right ministry and tell them I do not want the position. I say I'm not foolish. I'm not going to write against myself, but I'm not writing. So Bertrand gave me the date. So the date she gave me to go to Emory, I took my bag up from oncology and from dialysis, and I go to Emory. She never asked me any question after that, and I've been in Emory for 15 years when I took early retirement. So I want to say our batch is that same very sweet batch we had. We were small, 13 of us, 2 passed. One passed in Dominica. Marina Joseph was in our batch. We came in together, we started together. And Honore was in our batch too. She passed in Florida. So most of us went to her funeral. Or a lot of us went to her funeral and things like that. And I want to also say we love nursing. All of us here knows one another, parents or child or something about one another. Yeah. If you ask us, we can tell you where where this person is. If you just want to know, just ask and we can tell you. We get in touch and and we are very grateful that we have this kind of bond and we love ourselves. You see us in photos, how many of us, even the photos on our chest right now, that was at hostel we took that off. They are all our photos. We have made history in this hospital. we were the only student, we were the only students for 3 years, no other students. We were the students of the strike in time. That is why we graduated in 78. We did not go to sit our exams, none of us. We decided as a group, as students, we are not going to sit the exams. We are in support of the RNs. We had nothing to gain from it. But we were coming from school with that desire and determination of unity. So that is why I always wonder why the Dominican Nurses Association cannot unite on issues that are very important to the nursing service. I want to encourage you, we did it as students. Now we can do it as RNs. We can do it for the best service for the patients. And so we are very grateful for this opportunity to be here. For me, I'm grateful. I love my friends. Every time I see them, it's family and I'm glad. Every time I see them, it's family, and I'm glad for them. And I suppose they themselves love us, one another too. We all love one another. And we appreciate the work that we had gotten. And you don't know the best thing about the little work. We came in October and December we had stipend. We got a little money for Christmas. Yes, yes. And that stipend put us in a good position. Thanks be to God. If I stay here, I would write a book. So I'm going to stop. Thank you very much for having us.
Rose, let up from your end. What to do? Just hold it? Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm Teresa Joseph Charles. Hmm? Okay, better known as T. Ah, as you can see, we all are very tight knit group. We know each one another. We talk on the phone forever, and it's yeah. Thank God for WhatsApp. And as Rose Claire said, we have been a very tight knit group and hardworking. Love one another, love our patients. I worked in after graduation, I worked in the Princess Margaret Hospital for a few years, and then I worked 1 year in Portsmouth Hospital, and then came back to Princess Margaret. Migrated to the United States in 1988, and I still live there. And all in all, I have enjoyed working as a nurse. And what else can I say? Hmm? What's that? Yeah, she did. So I can. Could you pass this?
You know, the thing about the survival rate in the video survival rate. We work with the tents, it was like we set up tents every Glover, when the roof went to Glover, we were flooding upstairs in Emory. So we put tents between Daubigny and theater. We had tents. Yes. And can you imagine 2 patients to a tent, no electricity, and you're moving from tent to tent? And I always make them laugh. One night we were working and this patient sugar drop, glucose drop to 40, and you're in one tent and the patient is in the other tent, and patient ran away. Oh, I think patient ran away. We couldn't find. So we had to call the orderlies. So by the time orderlies came, remember, no electricity, just a little generator. They had to use the hospital transport and go light everywhere. And we found the patient in a drain way at the back of Stronach. So that was our experience of Hurricane David. I mean, we worked in water. We used private water. We had an outbreak of dysentery and no water, and you're on private water, and you have all this. So it was very, I mean, you all had it better, Maria. I know it was tough, but people were prepared. But with David, we were not prepared. No. And I mean, the whole PMH was gone. My friend was not there, she's wrong. Sandra, she wasn't. We had this little ward where the blood bank was, C2, with malnourished children. And there was one nurse, one child, and one mother. And the roof collapsed, and the nurse got injured. Wow. And then we were in Emory. I don't know if you all met this big desk we had in the middle of the unit, center of the unit. Right. So we had this little flimsy door that could not hold anything. So we pushed the door, we pushed the desk against the door, and here is this nurse bleeding from C2, and we can't let her in. Okay, so we had to push and pull with patients as well to bring her in there. I don't know if you all met, I don't think you all know Mr. Nips, Gerald Nips. So Gerald was there, and they just say, and that nurse, oh my God. So Gerald said, you sit down there, let me suture you. So we put her to sit down, hold her down, because she was screaming her head out, and then suture her, and then go take care of the mother and the child. So, that was our David experience. It was horrible.
It was horrible.
Horrible.
I can tell you.
And then we also survived Mont Prospect. I don't know if you know, some of you are so young. You'll know the Mont Prospect accident. Yes. Right. We were student nurses, 1977.
Yeah.
And then our friend, our colleague who passed away,
Yes.
that is Tammy. Tammy, what's Tammy's name? Tammy's mom. So she lost two brothers in that disaster. And we were student nurses.
Lost the brother.
Yeah. And we were in the crusade, and then they said, oh, Maureen's brother, and we had to run up
From the crusade.
from the crusade.
Billy Graham.
And we were student nurses. It was the guy from Barbados. The guy from Barbados.
Holmes will-
Holmes.
Holmes.
And we had to run up from the crusade because that is our member. Look. And
Yeah,
she
I
had
remember.
just left Mount Prospect, walking to hostel, and that happened.
Yeah.
So a little, if it was 5 minutes more, she would be in the disaster.
Yeah.
But she made it to hostel, and then we had to be part of. We became part of the disaster because her family and people, and then of course she was the.
We saw things that night.
We had
We
Bagatelle.
saw blood
And
transfusion.
then, oh yes, in the 1977 strike, we had the Bagatelle disaster, and I was in the center of the Bagatelle disaster because my aunt and her children, I lost a cousin,
Oh, Lord.
my dad lost his best friend, and my first helicopter ride, I came down because I was home because of strikers as students. In disaster, I had to come down with my aunt and all her children. And then when my friends here heard that I was in it, Rosemary Wesley, she was in St. Joseph. I've got a friend who died in Estonoria when they heard I was in it. They left and we came to hostel and we took over hostel with me and my family. We just took over hostel. And because nurses were on strike, so we would go to Dublin, what to the dressing on the injured, leave Dublin, come to Alford, cook, bring food, wash clothes. So that was our experience. So we came in 74, then we had Bagatelle disaster, we had Hurricane David, we had 47 days strike.
Yeah.
So that was a, but the good thing is that we were the only students, so there were no more students in hostel but us.
Yeah.
And then other RNs who stayed behind.
And then there was the plane crash, just
Oh, in Kenfield. Yeah, but I wasn't in. So that was our experience. And then we made it. And we were Emory when we had to put in beds, cuts between beds, beds between cuts. So we did it all. So you had to good enough. But listen, I encourage young people to do nursing because as a nurse, the opportunities are limitless. There is nothing you cannot do. But first of all, you need to love people. If you can't love people, you can't be a nurse. You have to love people, and there is nothing you cannot do as a nurse. So that's it.
No, I'm going.
Okay.
So I am Brenda, Hani, James by marriage. So of course, as you all have heard, this group was no regular group. We were a special group, a tight-knit group that pretty much grew up in nursing together. We were very young when we came into nursing, straight out of high school, and we worked together. It wasn't easy back in those days because we had to do classes in the morning sometimes and work in the afternoon or work overnight and classes in the morning. You're falling asleep, doctor's throwing the dust at you, he throw the chalk at you, you know. So those were the days of when we did our training. But we stuck together, we studied together, and we were like one mother's kids growing up together. Very close, very tight. So of course, after graduation, I went on Stronach, I did the midwifery course, and I worked there until I left in 1988. So, and then I migrated, I was in the Virgin Islands and then into the mainland states. But all in all, it was a very, very rewarding experience. Nursing was always something that I wanted to do I knew from very young I wanted to be a nurse. From 4.5 to 5 years old. What happened is my mom was having my sister after me, Judy, if you those remember her. But I didn't quite understand what was happening. I know she was swollen, she was big, and I was asking a lot of questions, and a lot of times they would tell me she ate a lot. But the day when the baby was born overnight. So when I woke up in the morning, the baby was there, so I'm asking questions. Where this baby came from? And my father said to me, you see that Nurse Lake? She came with that black bag. She brought the baby in the bag. I said, true? Well, I want to bring babies in a bag for people when I grow up. And from then, I became a nurse from way back when. So I knew very early I wanted to be a nurse. So that's how I got into nursing, stayed into nursing, and that's all I know. Nothing else. That's what is running in our blood. That's all we knew about. And we were very happy, to be in that group together. Yes. Of course, as I said before, it wasn't always easy. Some days were rough. Some days you came, you had no bandages. You had to go wash the bandages without gloves. Make sure you couldn't touch the gloves because the older nurses were watching you. If you take a glove, they would get on you for it. You could not use. You had to wash them with your hands. So that's how it was back then. When you had to wash it, there were times when we ran out of laundry, and a few of us had to go to the laundry room and do the laundry for that shift. That was what you had to do for that day, so we could get by. It was not always easy, but we enjoyed it to the fullest, and we would do it all over again. Okay? The other experience that I had was, while working on Stronach a number of times, especially on the night shift, I had to leave Stronach and go out into the community, as far out as sometimes even Marigot Hospital, to pick up patients at night. And I remember clearly one night there was a storm. It was flooding on the road. It was lightning. It was thunder. Imagine, I left around 10 and didn't get back here until like 5:30 in the morning. IV ran out, patient going into shock. I had to stop at some people at Bell's to get a knife so we could continue the IV. It wasn't always sweet and easy, but we improvised a lot and we enjoyed it. Okay? And as I said, we would do it all over again if we had to. Okay.
I am Catherine Seaman Hippolyte. I'm from the same village with matron, acting matron. And yes, well, what I can say about myself is that I was not in the group, in the sense that when interview was going on, I was nowhere to be found. I was not there. But if I have to give my testimony, it will be a very, very long testimony, very encouraging, but very long. So I will not go into that, but I was not there. I was like Thomas, but I was not doubting Thomas. I was not doubting Thomas and his faith that brought me into nursing, because God knew from 13 years of age, I always said that I wanted to be a nurse. And God worked it out for me in a miraculous way, very miraculous way. That if you have you will shiver when you hear that, if you hear that. Anyway, I was not in the group, but I came into the group. And I was the first one to leave, because at my interview, I did tell them that I want to serve my people. Penville was a place where you didn't really have nurses. You had a little chasse farm, they used to be calling them, and stuff like that. So I wanted to be on the district. And as soon as I graduated in the month of May. 1st of June, I was at Portsmouth Hospital, because the matron met me in the corridor and she said, Seaman, I understood you want to go to the... I said, oh, yes, matron. And then after night duty, I met my letter under my door in the hostel to tell me that I was transferred to Portsmouth Hospital. So I was transferred in 1978, and I worked in Portsmouth all those years. I was promoted to ward sister, and when I retired, I was the departmental nurse of the Portsmouth Hospital. I remember working with nurse Charles during the hurricane. We had to. She was in Portsmouth, and her mother is in St. Joseph, and she wants to know about her mother. So I agreed to walk with her to go to St. Joseph, but we happened to get a boat. We went on a boat. We came to Princess Margaret Hospital to see what was going on, and then she left me on the port. I got a badge. I was going down to bring Brogodo, and then she went to St. Joseph. Yeah, these are the experiences that we had, but they were very, very good experiences for us. They made us strong, and we can challenge anybody. Yeah, I can challenge anybody on that, because those hard times, it just made you stronger. And I came back to Princess Margaret Hospital 30 years after. Imagine, 30 years after, in 2008, I came for a rotation, and the experience was, I can say it was very, 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 very good. I was well received. Everybody gave me my respect and everything, and I really enjoyed it. I served for, I'll say, 41 years in nursing. 41 years because we started in the apprenticeship system. So we were working, we were getting a little salary. So 41 years. And as Brenda said, I would do it all over again. I love nursing. And we are really a neat family. So neat. We have twins, in that group. We have Eugenia Seaman, Catherine Seaman. We had Marina Joseph, Teresa Joseph. We had Bernadette Leslie, Bernadette Honoré. Twin, all over. Twin all over. Yes. So, yes. So you cannot miss us. Anywhere you see one, you see the other. Your uncle is my uncle. Is Uncle Richard? Where's Uncle Richard? Uncle Richard is, yeah, everybody. Yeah. So, so I would encourage the young nurses. Yes, you need to love your profession and just do your best, yeah, to uplift your standards, and God will bless you in return.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for having me there, Acting Matron. Ms. Joanna Robles, the president of the Dominican Nurses Association. And I'm fond of this group, and you may not know why, because even if Sister Purse, she doesn't know why, but I'm going to reveal it, and everybody will know my age, and that's okay, because I think I'm young. So guess what? I am a 50-year-old, and I also born 1974. So so this is why yes, so this is why I identify with you, and I'm very happy. I sat there and I'm listening to you all. So this means that challenges, nurses have always had challenges, and no matter what challenges we face, we have to just face it, but always remember that we want to treat persons as we would like to be treated, and I get from your group that, compassion, love, I'm taking time out for patient, empathy, a little touch, it's not just about the medication and the vital, but it's about good morning. I am nurse A, I am nurse B. How can I help you? And so this is what we want to continue to identify with. And I'm happy that you are here, and we will collaborate, to see how we can continue to strengthen the nursing profession. And I'm very happy that you were able to assist us. I'm also on the management team at the hospital, that you're able to assist us with some of these items. And you had it really rough, with challenging with Maria, with the hurricane and the bandages. So this means to say, if you have to weigh what happened back then and what we have now, even the previous hospital that we have and now, we are in a better position. However, we always need to improve. We always need to expand on what we have. So nurses, as the president of the Dominican Nurses Association, I would like to tell us, let's continue to, to be professional, to be show our ethical duty to our patients and to ourselves and to our neighbors, and continue to love each other. And that camaraderie, that love, be together. Go when you're on Emory ward, it have 10 patients. Glover ward has 5 patients. Then leave Emory and go to Glover to assist each other. So I know there are some nurses who still does that, but we need to do it a bit more. So nursing administration is doing their best, and the other areas are doing their best. So let's continue to do what we have to do. I thank you.
Thanks for joining everyone, and we say goodbye.